What's up, everybody? Big Herc, fresh out. You tune into another edition of Prison Talk. You guys asked me a lot of questions that I can't necessarily answer because I don't have the answer. And so I have somebody here joining me today, Greg, aka Jibo from Skyline Peru. And he's going to share some insight on some of the things he experienced in regards to some of the questions you guys ask us. Because, a lot of you guys ask about if you were on the streets, who would you hang out with if you got locked up, and how do you get involved in gangs and blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to have him talk a little bit about where he transitioned from to eventually land in San Diego and how he got involved in gangs.
Thanks for having me, Big Hurt. I can go all the way back until I was 4 years old. We're living in Watts. In 1965, a lot of people don't know, but that's the original Watts riot that occurred. It was chaotic, man. And you gotta, just think about as a 4-year-old seeing the place look like it's burning down. You got fires, you got police, you got the National Guard out there coming in Army tanks. So as a 4-year-old, man, it looked like the world was coming to an end.
And what was the cause of the Watts riots for those who don't know?
And that was the racial tension was going on because there was a lot of police shootings. Blacks were being discriminated against, and then there was another shooting, and people just got tired of it. So this escalated from another shooting in the LA area, and there was another one back on the East Coast, I believe, that was going down, and people just set it off and got tired. So there was fires going on. There was the police letting the police dog bite people. It was chaotic, man. So as a 4 years old, I was traumatized, and my mom just packed as much stuff we can because we was in the projects. We was in the middle of it. She just packed our stuff, and we was in the Malibu, and we was on the next thing smoking, and that's how we ended up landing in San Diego. And that. So to me, I grew up in a violent era. As a black kid, it was so much racial tension that I didn't know if I was going to live or not.
How do you think that transition went over as far as, because it went from a pro-black to then the gangs? You had the Black Panthers and everybody back then, and the nation was real strong, but then it went from that to just now black on black.
Right, and I can't put my finger on how that could even happen, but I can tell you this: in 1968, I was 7 years old when my father got killed by another black man, and some of the hatred that we were up against, a lot of us started turning against each other, and some of it was drug related. Some of it was just some hateful stuff that was going on. And then when you got organizations that start feuding against each other, it becomes chaotic. The Black Panther stuff with Geronimo Pratt and some top-notch leaders end up going to prison, and then the allegedly of other blacks snitching on him. It just causes a lot of confusion and chaos, and then it causes separation. So the division somewhere along the line happened back then. And then between that happened, now you got these parts of cities separating, and it becomes Crips, and then it becomes Bloods. And then all of a sudden, we're feuding against each other for half the time. A lot of people don't know what we feuding for. It's crazy. And it's been going on for so long that now all of a sudden, it turns into some drug territory. And it just expands. It's like a big snowball effect, and it ran all the way from the 60s all the way to current, because gangbanging still exists. Unfortunately, it's a shame that it still exists, and I'm ashamed to be part of that existence in the late 70s and in the 80s until I finally opened my eyes But somewhere along the line, we get influenced by the negative people and want a reputation and wanted like our name to be ringing in the streets as somebody. Yeah, that's J-Bo from Skyline. Yeah, he just, he got that juvenile license. He's still up in YA, man, but he about to touch down
Yeah.
and all this. And then I got other homeboys coming up there, and it's a mess, man. And it's like we putting Skyline on the map in the prison system. Why not put Skyline on that map on a good level?
Man, that's crazy too that you say it like that, because dudes is having honor and bringing a negative reputation to their neighborhood in a prison environment, which is the lowest environment.
Exactly.
Prison is worse than the projects.
Right.
The lowest environment, and like you said, why not do that on the other side where you bring prominence to your community, where people want to move there, do business there, shop there. So it's like crazy, because I think about that same thing, and you said like, just how we were just like, tripping off of, oh, you from this neighborhood, and I remember like a dude just look at you crazy, you like, and what you looking, what's happening? Yeah. Just like that and then now we got a beef now, next time I see him, yeah. Off of him looking at me crazy. I remember dude driving by.
Yep.
What's up?
Right.
Oh, come on, let's. What I mean? What's cracking? Ooh,
right.
Oh man, that dude he popped. If I see him again, we're going
right.
just like that. I didn't even know, dude, and we now want to kill each other.
Right.
So, or get down. We're gonna get down every time we see each other.
Right.
So it's so stupid, man. But the gangs and how people perpetuate, and now, with the gangs, it's commercial.
Yeah.
And then everybody got caught up in the whole Tekashi Snitch 9 thing. Running around, he claiming Bloodset, and then, it hit the fan, he telling everybody.
Right.
And so it's not even like back in the day where people would do stuff where, like you said, your name ringing. I remember, your name would be ringing, but you wasn't talking about it. It just knew. Right. See, out here, people would take pictures, film it. Oh, man, he did. Ain't nobody filming no fights. It's like you got out with somebody you knew, or you at the club that night you knew. But nobody openly was talking like, oh, yeah, we popped that dude. If he was a killer, you knew, oh, he a killer.
Yep.
That dude, I heard he done. But you don't ever ask him.
No.
He ain't ever telling nobody.
Right.
So that's the thing. It's different, man. These guys done commercialize the gangbanging, man. And you being an OG, you can see it, man.
It's so watered down, man, that it's. I'll tell you what it's like, man. It's just like prison now. It's not like prison when we went.
Yeah.
Prison is watered down now, and people come out all the time talking, oh man, it's so watered down now. They're integrating the S&Ys with the GPs and this and that and the other. Well, stop going. That's what I'll tell them. You know what I mean? It's like gangbanging is so watered down. Now you got everybody snitching, your own homeboy snitch on you. Well, stop gangbanging. What you gangbanging for?
Yeah.
You complain about this and now. What you doing it for? What you getting out of it?
Yeah.
First of all, you getting paid. You getting a 401k. You getting retirement.
It's like dude wanted me, man, Herc, speak on the politics of the S&Y. I said, look, man, who cares? Who cares? You plan on visiting there? That's intern. Nobody on the street gives a damn the politics. The only people are the ones who are there. If you're not there, who cares?
Exactly.
Do you want to go there and hang out with these dudes?
Right.
It's like people don't get it, man. They're fascinated with this stuff. I share the knowledge, but at the same time, I had a guy ask me on one of our questions on Fresh. He said, talk about people with disabilities and them committing crimes in prison. I was like, disability? Why would your disability be committing crimes? I mean, for the most part, even a regular person should. He's like, oh, see, you're one of those people you don't want to speak on. You're just like everybody else. You act like we can't commit crimes too. Oh my. You're saying that you guys want the credit for committing crime because you have like a cerebral palsy or something? I'm like, dude, come on,
you're
man.
mad because I'm not acknowledging you.
Acknowledging that you're capable. You're capable. God, you could be capable, but let me tell you, you get in there, they're gonna split your wig like anybody else. You're not getting a pass because now you're claiming you're disabled. Man, the guards don't care.
Nope,
man, when they slam you against that ground, they don't care. The inmates don't care. So it's like, man, I don't get the psychology behind it. Oh man, you don't want to acknowledge us. Like the hell? So it's crazy, man.
That backwards mentality, man.
It's backwards, man. and I'm glad you can like I said, shed light on the whole just the whole mentality of the gang stuff. And then like you said, we were so angry as as black men against other black men, like you said, your dad got killed by another black guy. I had a stepdad, but he was a piece of shit. So I always had anger towards another. So I'm like, it was easy for me to not like him. So if I don't like him, I don't have to like you. So black on black, it was easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this dude treated me bad. So if I see you, I can damn sure get off on you.
Right.
So the anger just went in other directions.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna rep this like I rep that. So it's definitely, man, conversation that needs to be said so that people can see what they're doing and how backwards it is.
It is, man. And I, like you said, by this another brother killing my dad, that just added fuel to the fire for me. This is a black on black crime right there. And and when I got involved into this gang stuff, it's like I didn't really care, man. We weren't doing drive-by. We were doing walk-ups, man. We were going in the car and getting out and walking down the alley and finding them, And then when you realize what for? What was I getting? I could have got a life sentence out of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, this don't make no sense at all, man. It's just, and it's sad, man, because a lot of people don't get it. And a lot of people are still living that lifestyle. A lot of people are still destroying our youth and destroying our generation. The younger generation, the offsprings, we're disappearing.
Now, listen to that. Now, who at that point in your life could have had an influence of maybe changing your direction without you having to go to jail? Because I know for me, I had a lot of, there's dudes getting in my ear, but I used to think like, man, what if the big homie with the Jerry curl who was on Swole would have told me like, man, get up out this park, man. I see you go up there and keep skateboarding, become a pro. The pen ain't no good. And if he would have been lacing me and maybe somehow said something, maybe he would have had more of an influence.
Right.
Is there somebody on that you feel that could have turned you around back then?
I'll be honest with you, Big Hurt. We didn't have a lot of that back then. You know what I mean? We really had a couple people, maybe, if I would listen to them, out of 100 that wasn't, because we had, even in sports, we had the coaches that was drinking bottles and drunk, trying to tell us to line up and do this and do that and the other. At one point, my mom took us out of this league and we had to sign waivers to get us to go play in this league, which was in the white neighborhood, because they were more organized and the coaches were focused and it actually, to be honest with you, actually helped because we learned the fundamentals. You know what I mean? But then again, on the same note, there's one coach in Skyline that stuck out that cussed me out when I stopped playing baseball. Because I was a good baseball player. And he said, what the fuck are you doing? Because I stopped playing and I went and started running track. And the reason why I ran track, because all the people went to the track meets. The big crowds. Yeah. Ain't nobody going to the baseball field to watch these little baseball players. Yeah. It might have 10 people, which was probably parents of the guys playing, but everybody in the school was going to the track meets. So it was like wanting to be seen. I was a good athlete in track, but I was a better baseball player. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when he saw that, when I went from high school, by the time I got to high school, I stopped playing baseball, he cussed me out. And so that was somebody that was trying to lead me in the right direction, but I wasn't seeing it. That was on me because I wasn't trying to hear it. So he was a very, Mr. Thomas was his name. He was a very good, positive influence on a lot of people in Skyline. Because they kept us active in the sports. He coached Pop on the football, and but there was just a few. Yeah. There wasn't enough.
We had a few. We had a few at school, but like I said, they would still allow the drug dealers would come up to the school campus, so they had over influence. So you be playing football, but then you go look over here and the girls and the dudes in the cars. So you like, man, I don't even want to go play football, basketball. I want to go do what they doing. Right. So it was just a lot of conflicting, ideals going on at the time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was like 20-1. 20 of these guys selling dope with the lowriders, and then some square bears over here, trying to get a scholarship to go play some kind of sports. Yeah. The only other person I can really think of, besides my mom, rest in peace, because she always tried to keep us in the right direction, was a school teacher named Mrs. O. Now she's coach. Excuse me, she didn't coach. She taught at her school, but every like at least once a week we have a class and we just talk about general stuff, current stuff that's going on. So we can talk about stuff that's going on in our lives. So we had a class that we can actually share and sit down and be honest. And she was a great influence on many people for about 30 years, 40 years that she taught at that school. My older brother, my older sister, me, my younger nieces, my nephews, and that's somebody that I'm still in contact with because she's good people. You know what I mean? And she was a very good, but how many did I name? 2?
Yeah.
I can give you a gang of them that were negative influences.
Yeah.
So that's one of the problems too in this in our life growing up back then and still to this day. Now we got more, yes. We got a lot more, and it makes a difference though. We got people like you, people like me, and other people that are pushing some positive stuff. Even with our story, if you think about our story, starts out negative, but it ends up positive at the end because we changed our lives. That's what's important.
Hey y'all, there you have it. Big Herc and Greg kicking some game with y'all, man. Trying to lace you youngsters up. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, support.